All right, this is Jimmy Cab's Tape to Broadcast, 5150 interview series, Bulldozer Magazine, and the very manic Jimmy Cab Show here at the Whiskey A Go Go in Hollywood for an extravagant event with Voivod and Australia's King Parrot. How are you? Introduce yourselves, please.
My name's Matt, and I'm from King Parrot, and this is
Todd, also from King Parrot.
wow.
A couple of years ago, when you would mention the word King Parrot, you would not conceive what I have known, which would be an extremely brutal yet entertaining live band, which is so aggressive that I have to stand way in the fucking back. You've been touring the States consistently for a while now. How do you feel the audiences are enjoying King Parrot?
I think it's probably a little. It varies from place to place, you know, and some of the places that we've hit more frequently are starting to, get a little bit more involved, I would say. Certainly when we play in Australia, I think we get because we've done it so much, we get that more interaction with the audience and stuff that, more established bands over here would get. So I think we're working our way towards that. And we've certainly had some great shows over here in the States. So
You've destroyed some amazing fucking stages too, by the way.
Yeah, we've been pretty lucky, I guess, in that regard as well. But we love doing it, and we love performing and having fun with it. So that's that's the main thing, and that's the thing that keeps us going. Is that we love performing and putting on that intense, in your face live show. So yeah.
One of the things that I really enjoy about a King Parrot show is the fact that when you go see your performance, it's raw and it's real, meaning it's not a stage act. My question to you is, how do you get that fucking energy to do that night after night? Especially on the road, man.
Well, I mean, he probably has to put in more than me.
How do you guys get that energy? Seriously.
I don't know, just do it. Just rock up. I know what I got to do.
Is it the aggression and the adrenaline and the excitement in what you're producing that makes you be able to feed off that?
Yeah, I think to a certain degree, and I think as well, like what we put into the music, into the writing process, and to the songs and stuff. It's comes from a real place. It comes from a genuine place, and it comes from somewhere that we want to put our heart behind it, and wear our influences on our sleeve a little bit as well as being original. And I think the whole aggression thing and the intense live show came more so from out of frustration from the scene in Australia. Right. And yeah, when we first started, I guess we were like, I don't know. You see, so many international bands are coming out all the time to Australia, and the crowds go fucking crazy. And then a local band will play, and they all just stand there like this and fuck this, and it's like, and so I think when we first started doing King Parrot, I was like, fuck this, I'm going to get right out there and get in the face. Yeah. And I was like, knock people's beers out of their hands and do things like that and piss people right off, and that's kind of what the meaning of King Parrot is, it's like a really annoying asshole. And so it kind of, and I guess we've kind of refined it in a way so that I'm not,
going to jail.
Yeah, fighting people while we're performing, which has happened a couple of times. So, you don't want to be fighting unless you sort of GG.
But see, what I really like about King Parrot is the fact that, and mind you, I'm going on 35 years of seeing live music. What I like about King Parrot is the fact that you bring back the danger element. And you really do bring back the danger. When I go to a show and I feel for my safety because of the craziness, that brings back the adrenaline, the excitement of going to a show instead of where I walk in there and I get bored the fuck out because it's predictable.
Yeah, I understand.
Predictable is death.
I think half the point is that pretty much you go see a metal band now and they're noodling so much that they can't even move. Half of them don't even windmill. They stand there and do this, right? And so it's like, if you have a spare limb, move it.
I hate that shit.
So I'm playing drums. The only spare limb I've got is my head. That's why I'm windmilling when drumming. Everyone else is jumping around and doing stuff, and it's sort of half-half. Play as well as you can while you go crazy. And if you stuff up, then it doesn't really matter because you're still going crazy.
But this is what I really enjoy the most. 2016. you're not reinventing the wheel, man. You're just going back to the basics, which is the most important thing in fucking rock and roll.
I agree.
Right?
I agree, and I think there's definitely been a concentrated effort in terms of the band and in terms of the musicality of the band, is that we're playing stuff that's not over the top, technical, over the top, sort of notey sort of
Simply
stuff.
because none of us have the required skills to do that.
I was gonna say that, but you know, that's not the sort of stuff that we want to play. You know, we want to play stuff that you can sink your teeth into and really, you know, feel those grooves and stuff when they're there, as well as having the ultra fast stuff and those punk and hardcore and death metal influences in there, but as well as, you know, being able to fall back into a groove as well is an important part of you know, what we do and how it translates live as well. So yeah.
And another thing that I really enjoy is the fact that you really are going on stage as what you are, which is human beings. You're not doing the whole Led Zeppelin fucking metal god fucking thing, or you're not going on there with the whole charade or a whole fucking shtick. You're going up there just destroying the fuck out of the stage and the audience. My question to you is, are you amazed at how tame audience is nowadays? This is supposed to be an extreme fucking music scene, and everybody's so fucking PC, man. And I've seen this around the world.
Yeah.
Not just the United States, around the world.
I mean, sometimes it is a little disappointing, I guess, because
Everyone's trying to be too cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I mean, I always get up and I throw fucking water on people and shit, and they're like, oh, don't throw. And it's like, it's a fucking metal show. Come on, we're here to.
Real pissed.
Well, yeah, I mean,
That might get you bad.
yeah. I've certainly been tempted to, and I may have pissed myself on stage once or twice before, but yeah, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, sometimes
I don't know. I'm too busy doing windmills to be watching the crowd, so I don't know what they're doing, and I don't really care. I'm playing drums, and that's the fun part.
Exactly.
Playing drums and looking at him pull his bum out and tip water on people. So that's
Yeah.
what I like.
I think-
That's a King Parrot gig for me. That's all I see.
Yeah, I guess probably more so for what I do out the front is you know, really kind of feed off the audience. And if they're just standing there like fucking stunned mullets, like, what do you know, it makes it sort of, you really want to have that audience interaction. I do anyway, and I certainly do appreciate it a lot more when it does happen.
Yeah,
So
you're reigniting the whole rock and roll element back into live shows is what you're doing. My question to you for this is, how do you get that energy which is on stage and reproduce that into the recording process? Because your albums, when I listen to them, make me want to break TVs, man. How do you do that?
We do them live. Last time we did, we all sat in the room and all my drum tracks were tracked with everyone in the room as the band, and then they just did little overdubs and stuff, and it was just live and raw like it is live.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy that?
yeah, I did. I mean,
Did you enjoy that recording process?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Youngie went back.
Is that
and
why the record sounds so human?
Stuff, but I guess because we just played it. No, I didn't even use a click track. It was just done.
Nice.
Done.
Yeah.
Do it. Guitars. Everyone sit in the room. They mic'd stuff up out of in another room or some shit. I don't know. I was just played me drums and everyone played along and it was good.
yeah, I mean, obviously you go and do the vocals again and stuff like that afterwards, but for the most part, I was singing as well, because some of those cues and some of the bits in the songs rely on the vocals for the changes and stuff like that. But yeah, for the most part, that rawness and that, you know, like if you can get it and nail it, and while you're all playing together, I think that's really important, and
it's human.
And that sound can't sort of be replicated unless you sort of I don't know. I mean, to me, it just feels real, and that's really, you know, an important part of this band. So
You're on tour with Voivod throughout the United States. How are you enjoying this tour and the diverse audiences that are being attracted to this bill?
It's definitely a unique sort of tour package, you know.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, Voivod, I mean, when they sort of said, hey, you want to do a tour with Voivod, we were like, holy shit, you know, like, all right, let's do it, you know. And when we found out our friends Childbite were on it as well, who we've sort of toured with a couple of times before, and were label mates with as well. So that was a no-brainer for us. And yeah, it is. It's kind of been bizarre because obviously Voivod have that. You know, they've been around for such a long time, probably as long as I've been alive, and such a killer band, you know, and. They're still just doing it, and they don't give a shit, and they're just relentless in the way that they go about it, and we admire that very much. So yeah, you know, together with what we, you know, the people that we pull in, and the people that they pull in, and the people that Childbite pull in, it's quite an eclectic sort of audience. So it's been really great, man. We're excited, and obviously going through the US, we do a lot of that, and then we also go up to Canada, and we're doing a lot of shows up in Canada, which is, you know, Voivod's home ground. So
backyard.
I think it's going to be great. It's going to be really, really cool. So
Talk to me about the new record.
well, we wrote it. We wrote it in Vermont, right?
What, Dead Set? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the new record. That's the one that's the last one that we put out.
I'm talking about the next one that we're already starting to do. So.
All right. Well, that's not out yet, so he doesn't know about that, so we can't talk about that.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. When someone says new record, I'm like, oh, is that what it is?
Do you find yourselves constantly writing music?
I guess, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we got time, when we're like home jamming, definitely writing new stuff all the time.
What kind of energy does the new record resonate compared to the last?
I think with Dead Set, we have a more like, I think it's more of a probably organic kind of sound. It's a bit of a different sort of vibe to the first album, and it's sort of, to me, it sounds a little bit more like evil and has a few more sort of death metal kind of influences as opposed to the first album, which is kind of more like grind, I guess. Yeah, yeah, but I mean, I think both of them are good in their own right, and we had a great time. You know, we recorded it with Phil Anselmo down at his place in Louisiana, and it was awesome. It was a great experience just being able to have that sort of freedom in the studio as well. That first record we did in 4 days or 5 days or something, and this time we were sort of able just to relax and take our time with it, and just sort of make sure we got things done the way that we wanted to get them done.
Yeah, but you're working with a fellow musician slash artist slash label owner who understands this type of music and the attitude and the energy that comes along with it, and is not, you know, trying to dissect and fucking destroy what you're creating.
Yeah, and I think he was, you know, in a sort of sense, he kind of stood back a little bit, and, you know, he threw in suggestions, absolutely, but I think for the most part, you know, we had the structures and we had the way that we wanted the songs to go, sort of, you know, pretty meticulously sort of planned and whatnot. And yeah, he definitely had some great input, especially for the vocals. That was probably the main thing that he was able to help me with, absolutely. So, I mean, yeah, I've only kind of really been doing vocals in an extreme metal band since we started doing King Parrot, so it's only been, you know, 4 or 5 years. So to have someone that's, you know, got 20, 30 years experience of doing vocals like that was really helpful. We dissected every line and changed words and things that sort of didn't quite add up or make sense, or, you know, things that might have rolled off the tongue a little bit better and things like that. So yeah, it was really helpful. Absolutely.
For those of you that have never experienced the King Parrot live show, I must say it does indeed, as I mentioned before, bring back danger in a positive way, bring back excitement, and definitely reignites the adrenaline in even old decomposing fuckers like myself. One of the things that I appreciate nowadays, especially bands like King Parrot, is that they go up on stage and they just do what it is. In other words, they are not trying to reinvent the wheel. They're bringing an entertainment to you in a real human fashion. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Absolutely, Jimmy. Thanks for your support, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Good times.
Out.